Welcome to Talk Birdie to Me with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn and Tour Pro Mark Allen, live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. And thanks to our great partners, Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. Driving a BMW is like hitting the perfect shot. Smooth, controlled and powerful. Titleist, the clear number one ball in golf. FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Better, when the greats bet, they bet with Better. Ping will help you play your best. And the Golf Clearance Outlet, who beat everyone's prices. Now, here's Nick and Mark.
G'day everybody, welcome to the program, and this week for Host Plus we are hosting an Australian golfing legend, one of the most loved individuals we've ever produced here in Australia. He won a British Open, he was a superstar commentator on the PGA Tour. I don't know about you, Nick, but I could watch his putting stroke for as long as a broadcast was on. It was just so beautiful to watch, and his wedge game as well.
Well, funnily enough, we did a masterclass on it not long ago with his putting, remember?
Yeah, I do. The 1991 British Open champion, Ian Baker-Finch. G'day, Finchy.
G'day, fellas. How are you both? Good to be with you.
Hey, I want to do a little This Is Your Life with you, Finchy. And I reckon the first time as a kid watching you win a tournament, it was at the Lakes. You won by 1,000,000 shots. I reckon you won by 20 shots. And you were the only bloke who was capable of spinning the ball and getting the ball to stop on those Lakes greens. That's what the commentators were saying. Now, God, I must have, first of all, what year was it? I must have only been about 13 or 14 years old. And you were a young rooster.
New South Wales Open at the Lakes, 1984.
1984. Wow. So I would have been 14 years old watching. Yeah. So how are you doing it, Finchy? Can you remember how you were spinning the ball and you were the only one who could make it stop? And how many shots did you win by?
Yeah. I shot 15 under. I won by 13.
Yeah.
Roger Davis was 2 under, and then Pete Senior, I believe, and maybe Greg Norman were even par in third. I think that was the way it went. But The greens were rock hard. You could throw the ball on the green and it'd bounce up and catch it. I mean, it was like that, hitting it on the table. And I always hit the ball with a fade. I always cut across it. You know, I'd learnt from watching Jack Nicklaus play, and then I'd try and draw it off the tee. Tomo helped me with that. But then with wedges, I could really get it steep and across the line and across the ball and really spin it hard. So, yeah, it's always been a bit of a problem for me, actually, with wedges. I've always spun it a bit too much. And even here in the sandbelt, when the greens get firm, I can spin a chip and stop it dead from 30 or 40 metres. I don't know, it's just the action, I guess.
Well, I hate to bring it up. I mean, the one which obviously cost you was at the 1984 Open Championship at St Andrews, but that actually wasn't your fault because apparently the greenkeeper left the hose on in that spot.
Tell us the story.
Early on, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. It's no one had ever spun it back on the first green at St Andrews, and I was leading, playing with Tom Watson in the last group on Sunday, and I spun it back off the front of the green there, hit a perfect shot in, and it came back in the burn. And I was told many years later, after I had won the Open in 91, Brian Twight, the great professional from Metropolitan Golf Club, who's still alive, by the way, at 99.
Still teaching.
Came to me. Yeah. He said, "You've won it now and it's been long enough. I can now tell you the story." But my friend was the superintendent at St Andrews, and he was called over to the 17th green while he was hand watering the first.
Oh, no.
And he left the hose on the front left corner.
No.
He came back a half hour later and a puddle had formed on the front left corner of the green. And he said his friend, the superintendent, watched all day. I was the last shot in. I hit the long drive off the first and was the last player to play and the only one that landed in that puddle, and it came back in. So a little unlucky, but, destiny, I was given another chance.
So, Finchy, I imagine Peter Thomson had got a hold of you by that stage. I don't know that for sure, but I'd love you. I know that Tomo helped you, but I'd love to know what led up to Tomo helping you. He was very generous to a lot of young players. He tried to help me just a little bit. He was always, I was a Victorian and he would try and help, but I've never heard what actually happened. Did you go to him? Did he come to you? How did it play out?
He was always very, very complimentary towards me and my game in commentary. And a couple of times he came down out of the box, or he may have just been at 18 in a break or something, and he would ask me how I went or how did you go? And I don't know, he just took an interest in me, and he always thought that I had the game to do really well, even though I was just another one of the young players. You know what it's like. There's so many of us here in Australia, all applying our trade and trying to get better. But he just seemed to take an interest in me. And he said to me one time, he said, you should, instead of going home and playing those pro-ams, you should come to New Zealand and you should be continue to play 4-round tournaments. So I went down to New Zealand, and he was down there playing still, early 80s. And he helped me a little bit on the range. And he just, after that, he could see a bit of promise. I played well a couple of times. It didn't win. And then after was the summer of 83. And he had me play with him a lot. I stayed with he and Mary and the family down in Portsea, just across the street from Portsea Golf Club. And we went and played a lot of golf. He just was really genuinely, I guess, liked my game, and we got on well together. And I never over-talked. He didn't appreciate that. He liked someone that he could just go along with and spend time with, and we'd walk the beach together. It just was a wonderful relationship, and I thank him. May his soul rest in peace, you know. Yeah. He created my life, really, in golf.
Tell us, I'm really curious. I mean, I had a poster of you when I was a kid on my wall, and you had a really high swing. Like, it was so big. And, you know, unfortunately, I tried to swing like that for a little while as well. But Finchy, was that what he saw? Did he see the high action and he just tried to flatten it? Because that's what I've always heard.
He did. At the time, I was hitting the ball very high with a fade. As I said, I read Jack Nicklaus's book, and Jack was really high, flying right elbow, high hands, big high fade. I didn't have a big heavy ass like Jack Nicklaus, so I couldn't hit it anywhere because I didn't have the power. And Tomo said, you need to swing around your ass a little bit more and flatten that off. So he put the ball a foot back in my stance the first day.
Wow. And
said, soften your arms and swing around your ass. That's pretty much what his first words were. Because Tomo was, like all old great coaches and certainly good players, they could hear by the sound, they could see by the contact, but they watched the ball flight and the ball shape. And he could see that I was only ever going to hit it 250 yards with a high fade because the ball spins back. But I could fly it just as far with a draw and run it 20 or 30 yards and hit it a little farther. So that was really the reason for that. But the high swing is good if you can do it. Look at Scotty Scheffler.
Yep.
You've got to have the speed and the power. And I was a very straight hitter, which was a big part of that too. I could hit driver on any hole, whereas most of the longer hitters had to hit an iron. So I wasn't sort of that disadvantaged when I played tight golf courses. But certainly, you know, it helped a lot to be able to learn that I could hit it further and play better in the wind if I learned how to hit the ball with a draw.
Beautiful. Now, I've actually never asked you this question because you said earlier you read Jack Nicklaus's book. What was it, Golf My Way?
Golf My Way.
I think it was something like that, wasn't it? Yeah.
Golf My Way.
So obviously that, you know, influenced the golf swing and everything, but you've always putted with a glove on. I mean, Jack always did it as well. You're the only two players I've ever noticed to do it. Was that the reason, because of Jack? Or, I mean, I actually remember you, it's funny, you mentioned before him, you know, Finchy, you watched him at the New South Wales Open. The first time I noticed, and especially the putting, I think you might have won the Masters one year at Huntingdale in a playoff from Craig Parry, and was it Roger Mackay, I think? Was he in
Davis even?
Yes. Roger Mackay.
Roger Mackay in the playoff, and the greens were like glass. I mean, these things were so quick, and I think you hit it to like 3 foot on the first playoff hole and won the playoff just like that. It was pretty easy, but I noticed you had the glove on. Is that because of Jack, or was there another reason?
No, Jack, for sure. Okay. Anything Jack did, I did. That's and then it's funny you say that, but other youngsters, 20, 30 years younger than me, have come to me over the years and said, hey, I always putt with a glove on because you did, and I love the way you putted. And I did it because Jack did.
Okay.
Funny how it works.
Finchy, who taught you the putt? Or did you do it yourself? Because I've only heard about the swing with Tomo, but we all rave about your putting. Did you get any advice when you were a kid from somebody that gave you that beautiful stroke?
I think it was just years and years of practice. When I finished school at 15 and I moved away from home to a little country course called Gympie, and I practiced there a lot. I was doing my apprenticeship. And when it was really quiet, which it was most of the time, I could slide the roller door down of the pro shop and go putt.
Right.
So I'd putt for hours and hours a day. And I left Gympie to go to Caloundra Golf Club, and I could do the same thing. The practice putting green was only about 20 or 30 paces away from the front door of the pro shop, and you had to walk past the putting green to get in.
Right.
So I would have spent, through those 3 or 4 years where I was doing my apprenticeship, I'd spend 2 or 3 hours a day putting. And there was an old bloke, Sel Shirley, his name was, that was a member at Caloundra, and he was always really firm on low and slow on the way back. And he also was big on goal setting and positive thinking and positive talk, which as a young man, I was an open book. I wanted to find out everything I possibly could, as we all have done, to become good golfers like you as well. And he gave me mantras and things like that, which I'd never heard of, a country boy at that age, to work on. And goal setting, things like that really helped. But the years and years and years of just putting and putting and putting, and it's just simple things. Just quickly, anything in golf, your setup and your routine is up to you. There is no excuses. It's you. So if you can set up perfectly and aim perfectly, there's not a lot can go wrong. So I simplified everything down to those key facts. So my setup has always been perfect. My stroke is good, solid. I'm confident, and when I do putt well, my hands are soft, putter grip works, putter flows, whatever. But it all comes back to the basics and alignment and setup, and then positive thinking, seeing the ball rolling in rather than worrying at how it's going to miss. Things like that make you a good putter. People work too much on stroke and worry about what they're doing perfectly, when if you set up perfectly, which is up to you, not a lot can go wrong. You're only taking it back like 30 centimetres and through 30 centimetres. There's not a lot can go wrong if you're staying still and positive. Anyway, I oversimplify it, but that's kind of how I thought about putting.
That is so good.
I reckon you're making a lot of people go to the driving range tomorrow and get on that putting green and get some soft hands working, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and he's still one of the best putters as well. My old coach, Neil Simpson, said all you got to do is you just got to get the putter head back to the ball square, hit it in the middle. It's simple, very simple. Anyway,
simple.
I'd love to talk a little bit leading up to, and also the 91 Open Championship, obviously. That's what, you got the claret jug on the mantelpiece, I'm sure, somewhere around, probably back in the States. I know you probably bring it out around Open Week, pour a nice bottle of red in it, no doubt, have a sip or two, living those memories. But funnily enough, leading up to that tournament, I heard like I don't think you were winning tournaments. You kept either being runner-up or losing playoffs or something like that in the States, but everything was culminating to that moment of the Open Championship. I'm sure you had probably Tomo helping you with playing different courses in the UK and things like that. Can you tell us a bit about that time and going into the week? Were you thinking this is my week, or was it just see how we go type scenario?
I had lost in a playoff the week before on the PGA Tour, 7-hole playoff that I should never have lost. I was inside the guy I was playing on every green, putting for birdie. He was putting for par and hold. So we went 6 straight pars in a row, me missing for birdie after he had putted and made his putt for par.
Oh, my God.
Just couldn't make a putt.
Who was it?
Oh, it was sickening. Bruce Fleischer.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Bruce Fleischer, yeah.
made his career. He was 42. He'd just come back on an invitation and he won. Anyway, on the last hole, he hit it on the front of the green. He held a 60-footer. I was about 25 feet away and missed. So I lost that playoff. But I'd been top 5 or so for about a month beforehand. I'd won a tournament 3 weeks before at Oakmont. I was in good form. So basically I went there thinking, if I can just continue to do what I'm doing, and you guys know when you're playing a major, in the back of your mind, you're really just saying to yourself, I'm in good form. I just want to stay out of my own way and treat this major like it's any other tournament. And it's very hard to do. Even in Australia, you come off the smaller tournaments leading into the big ones and you say, I'm playing really well. I just want to be like that mentally when I play in the big ones. And it's so hard. But I was fortunate that I could do it. I had Jenny with me, and Hayley was a 2-year-old. Jenny was 6 months pregnant with Laura, who's about to give birth, by the way, in New York. She's in labour as we speak.
Oh, gosh.
So maybe during this podcast I'll get a message to say that she's had her first child. But anyway.
Oh, wow.
I digress. But it was really me trying to stay out of my own way. And as my caddy at the time, Pete Bender, said it was like writing Secretariat. All I had to do was hang on. He was playing so well and he was so confident that he was just doing what he had to do, which is very hard to do in a major. And I could never do it again. I went into 2 or 3 other majors with a chance to win, and I couldn't get out of my own way. So this time it culminated in the win. And I would say I knew I was going to play well. You never know if you're going to win, especially major. But a lot of players and a lot of caddies backed me that week because they saw how I was playing as well. And I've got so many great stories from caddies that said, "Hey, Finchy, I bought a car on the money I won at the Open." And yeah.
Hey, tell us about that front nine, because it's a famous one in Australian golf. You didn't just get off to a good start. You shot 29 on the front nine of a championship you were leading at the start of the day. I mean, tell us about the feeling of control you must have had.
The greens hadn't been good all week, and everyone was complaining about them. And I think the Aussies all did well that week, or a lot of us did well. I think there was 4 in the top 10. Pete Senior, Mike Howard, of course, was runner-up. Greg Norman was right there. Craig Parry, Wayne Grady. But we'd all grown up on shitty greens in Queensland. And I think being dismissive of the way the greens were, it was like, hey, these aren't bad to me. I'm used to worse than this. The Americans didn't deal with it very well. So anyway, to hold a couple of putts was just such a confidence boost to me. I hit it to 20 feet at the first, 3-wood 4-iron. Nice little tap in for the par. Next hole, drive a 6-iron to 10 or 12 feet, hold it. Next hole, 3-wood wedge to about 10 feet, hold that. I'm like, oh, that's a great start. I've got a 2-shot lead now. I was tied for the lead with Mark O'Meara. 4th hole, 3-iron par 3, 10-foot, hold it, bonus. Next hole, driver, safe second shot because it was dead right, little left of the hole, 2-putted for par. Next hole, really good drive, sort of sacked up there and drove it down the right, missed the bunker and got it all the way down around the corner. 7-iron to about 8 feet, hold that. So now I'm 4 under. Everyone else was bogeying the 6th and I birdied it. So now I'm 4 in front. Next hole, 7-iron, 15-foot, hold it. 5 under through 7. And I remember looking at the leaderboard thinking, oh, my God, I'm 5 in front. Seve, Freddie Couples, Mark O'Meara, all of these great names.
Big names.
And I thought, if I don't win this time, I've had 2 other chances. If I don't win this time, I won't be allowed home. So it was really, from then on, people say, oh, you putted so great. Yes, I made 5 putts in that first 7 holes. I 2-putted the next 11 holes, drove it in every fairway, knocked it on every green, 2-putted 17 for birdie. But the last I played safe. I drove it in the left rough, another story, but short with a 6-iron, chipped on, 2-putted for 5 to win by 2. But it was that start was really how I'd been playing really well, but I started to hold a couple of putts. And that sort of created that spread, if you will.
I never forget. I think there was an iron shot you hit into one green.
Yes.
And
talking the bender.
Yeah, and you like that, Petey?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That's right. It was a 4-iron at 16.
Yeah.
Now, it was a good drive. It was back into the wind. Because 16, I hit driver 4-iron par 4. Yeah. And 17, the other way, I hit driver 5-iron par 5. So the wind was blowing pretty hard. And I nearly holed that 4-iron. It rolled about 12-foot, 15-foot past the hole, a 2-putted for par. But yeah, I said to Petey, you like that one, Petey? He said, love it.
Royal Birkdale 1991, and in the sunshine, Australian Ian Baker-Finch surged clear of the field.
Like that one, Petey? I love it. You like that one, babe? Love it.
On the final day, he birdied 5 off the first 7 holes. and by the 18th had a 3-shot cushion over his nearest rival. Twice he had begun the last day of an Open Championship in the final group. In 1984 he had succumbed to Seve's brilliance, and like everyone else he had no answer to Faldo in 1990. But this was his year. He outscored Seve with a final round 66 over one of England's toughest golf links. That ensured his first major victory. 2 shots better than the field in 1991. He proved at Royal Birkdale he was a class act.
It's so lovely to hear that you can remember all those shots in great detail, Finchy. Now, a couple of episodes ago, Nick and I were talking about some of the better golf that we played and some of what we were thinking. Like I could still think of, the silly things I was thinking when I had some good finishes in Australia, and Nick had the same thoughts. I'd love to know if you can still remember the swing thoughts that you might have had, or whatever you were working on that particular week, or was it a case of you were just hitting it that good that you were just looking at the target, see target, hit target?
As you guys know, and if you alluded to there, when you have simple, clear thoughts, it's like with the putting, right? If you have a clear thought, okay, I'm confident, I'm over the ball, I'm perfect over the ball, what can go wrong? I see the ball going in, I take the putter back and I hit it in. Simple thoughts. Same with the golf swing. I had one key. By the way, routine is kind of a forgotten discussion when it comes to golf instruction. And with us guys now in radio, podcast, TV, routine is so important. And the average person just glosses over it. Oh, why does that guy keep talking about routine? I was 13 and a half seconds on every shot.
There you go.
And I would take my grip across my body, which created a slightly stronger grip than I felt comfortable with. Adam Scott does it to the side, which creates a slightly weaker grip than he's used to. If you watch him this week, he takes his grip to the side of his body. I used to take it across at 45 degrees. I'd look ahead, look down, take my grip. My practice swing before that was, I tried to imagine I was playing T-ball, like the ball was 3 foot above the ground, and I made an aggressive swing with the ball up here. I then took my grip and I shuffled in and hit it. I did it every time. Unreal. Stephen Bann was over there with me. He was with the Golf Australia kids and he was staying with us, and he took a video and he's since spliced it all into one video of every shot that I hit. And he's the one that told me that every time from the start of your routine to impact was between 13 and 14 seconds, every single shot.
Love it.
Amazing, isn't it?
Unreal.
And it was just a constant. If something bothered me, I'd stop and I'd start again and do the 13 seconds. Yeah, it was so good. And I was also doing a lot of breathing exercises when I walked. So when there was a lot of spare time, which there is in championship golf, sometimes 5 hours, and you're playing in a twosome or a threesome, it's crazy how long golf takes sometimes. I would do a lot of rolling of the head and counting, in and out breathing, 8 in, 4 out, that sort of stuff. That was another thing that is really hard to teach people that don't know. All they're worried about is, how far they can hit their 5-iron and, where's their shaft angle and those sorts of things. Whereas the big picture things like rhythm and timing, Adam Scott, another one, talks about rhythm and timing a lot. Very, very important, but something that the modern coaches tend to gloss over as they're looking at their screens on the TrackMan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually kind of speaking of that, because it would be remiss of us, I guess, to talk about, you win the Open Championship and you played some really good golf for many years after. And then obviously things started to spiral, going in the opposite direction for whatever reason it was. I remember when we had a game at Kingston Heath recently, and you were chatting about, I think, if you had the technology that they have today with the TrackMan, the monitors, all the radars and all that, the pressure plates, you said you probably would have been able to figure out what was going on with the golf swing.
That's interesting.
Is that true?
Yes, 100%.
So looking back, what was it?
It's funny, when I was Jeff Saunders, who wrote a recent book that I've put out, he came to me and said, the the world wants to, he's basically trying to sell me on the idea of writing this book. He said, the world wants to know what happened to you. And I said, I want to know what happened to you. It was, I think a lot of mental issues and yips and whatever you want to call them, apprehension, starts with a swing flaw, usually started by an injury or some sort of imbalance in the body or some sort of off-course influence, which we all go through, through life. And that's what happened to me. A couple of things started to happen. I was injured. The swing changed. I had a short right leg, so the left hip used to get locked, created a bit of a flip at times. But when I was confident and working on that aggressive rotation drill, I still got through the ball well. When I didn't, I started searching for a new swing, and I lost my own swing, and I lost my routine, and I lost all of the things that had allowed me to be good. When I played well and putted well, I could win. I was a decent player for a decade or so, and I lost that. And I tried to rekindle a lot of those old thoughts, and I really wore my body out. I really wore my body out, unfortunately. It was a difficult journey for a couple of years. I missed 15 cuts in a row in 95, 11 in a row in 96,
Yuck.
Culminating in the Open Championship. I had Bruce Edwards on the bag. He said, you need to figure out that driver. You're still the best in the world from 150 yards. Just go find what's going wrong. So I came home. I rehabbed my shoulders. My feet had serious issues that I had to have my feet taped for 3 or 4 months, couldn't wear shoes.
Wow.
And I went and did some TV. All of the networks asked me to come and do television for them because I couldn't play. So I just came into the booth 5 minutes before the show started each time. They're all worried about me. Where was I? I was on the range. I was talking to the players. I came in as an analyst to talk golf. And it was just so much fun. You guys know what it's like. When you get a chance to just talk golf, that's what we do. And when you're talking golf with other golfers, you kind of delve into stuff that other people are like, wow, but it's like second nature to us.
Yeah.
And I was offered the job after that in the US if I didn't come back to golf, and ultimately I didn't. A year later, I got the job to do the TV. But the sliding door moment, it was actually kind of a slamming door to me. I played in the Open Championship in 97. I hadn't played for a year. I was stiff and sore, and I sent my caddy home. I wasn't even going to play. And I decided, what the hell, I'll go tee it up. And Todd Woodbridge came and caddied for me. It was a blustery day around Royal Troon.
Worst caddy ever, don't worry.
But, it was another person in my body that day. As I said, I think the average score was 40 on the back nine. It was like a 78 around that time I played, was a pretty normal score. I shot 92, 20 over par. And that was the end. That's when I started to do the TV. But it became what was an injury that caught a little bit of an issue. It became a mental issue more than anything. And that door closing stopped me from even thinking about coming back from there.
Yeah, we've been speaking recently about yips with putting and things like that. And typically those scenarios, it always starts with something physical and then it turns into mental. Now, whether it's as you say, it's a body issue or it's a swing floor or whatever it is.
Well, the one leg being shorter than the other leg, Finchy. Exactly. I'd never heard that before. And look, I know now, just as I got older, it just gets harder and harder to get through the ball, let alone if you've got a short leg that's stopping you.
Yeah, what I do now, I could take it out and show you, but I've got a half-inch lift or 2 quarter-inch lifts that I put in my shoe and my right shoe to build me back up.
Wow.
I had to have my left hip replaced because of the wear and tear and the damage I'd done to it. And my doctor said, just put a half-inch lift in your shoe, and now I'm perfectly balanced and I shoot even par or so when I play. I still play nicely.
He beat me the other day.
Yeah. We walk and carry. It's good fun.
Yeah. Well, look, can we just take a little break? Let's just take a little break. You touched on your commentary, and Finchy, I reckon the thing that sold me on just how wonderful a commentator you were over however many years, must have been 25 years, I don't know, maybe more, was the goodbye you got I saw the love from not just your co-commentators, but all the people who worked on the broadcasts over all those years. You were so loved, mate. And I just want to say, just as we go to the break and we get ready to hear about, maybe where the future of Australian golf is going, I just want to say thank you for so many years. It wasn't just great watching you play, but we were so proud that one of us was in the commentary booth and broadcasting back to us. And the little bits of, Australianism that we got, when we were up on a Monday morning watching the final round of something. Let me tell you this, Finchy, it meant so much to us. So thank you for all those years.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Hey, let's take a quick break. I do want to come back and just to finish off, let's get an idea where Australian golf's headed.
Sounds good.
Welcome, Ian Baker-Finch.
Thank you very much.
Great to have you a part of the team,
Great to be here.
1991 British Open champion, also proud history on our network back in your competitive days.
Well, CBS was always very good to me when I was out there playing years ago.
His first win on American soil. First of great performances in the United States. 14 worldwide victories in his career.
Hale said, hey, Finchy, if you go 3 birdies in a row again today, I'm going to do the turkey all the way to the 16th. And I was like, yeah.
Ian Baker-Finch has done a little stripping act here.
I thought, I'm not going down in there and get mud all over my trousers. I had this little hitch in my swing that when I got set to go, I always used to hitch my pants up. And I got down in there and I hitched my boxers up as I played the shot. I hit it out. It was not a bad shot, but I missed the putt and made bogey.
The rules are you can't wear shorts, but it doesn't say you have to wear pants.
For the next 4 or 5 holes, everyone in the gallery, especially the girls, they were all yelling out, hit it in the water, hit it in the water.
Well, friends, it's going to be emotional and nostalgic. We conclude our season series at the Wyndham Championship, and we say goodbye to Ian Baker-Finch, our colleague who announced earlier this week his retirement from the booth, effective after Greensboro.
It's a one! Thunderbear makes a one at the 8th. We bring you live golf from all of these beautiful venues around the world, and that's what I'll miss. I'll miss being in your homes every weekend.
We're going to miss you big time, pal.
All right, Ian Baker-Finch, interview your man there, Adam Scott.
Mate, unbelievable putt there. I remember in Houston last year you hold a similar long one. How are you feeling right now? Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, I dug it out of nowhere and I got away with one, I think, today.
Well, great decision coming back here to play at the Byron Nelson. Congratulations on a great victory. Jimmy, back to you, mate.
Thanks, Finchy.
Now there's Finchy chatting it up with Tiger a little bit. It'll be on the coverage later today for CBS.
Hello and welcome to the Travelers Championship. I'm Ian Baker-Finch, and alongside my old sparring partner and 6-time major champion, Sir Nick Faldo. Who would ever have thought that we'd be up here doing this? He's going to aim 15, 20 feet right of the cup. Quick here down across the slope. Well, he's doing it in style, isn't he? Ho-hum. That was a beautiful follow-through. How about this? Rory McIlroy on fire.
When he putts well, he wins easily. When he putts average, he wins closely. And then when he doesn't putt well, he nearly wins.
That's exactly right.
It's now been 30 years I've been doing the television. I think Colt says it all the time. No one loves the game more than Finchy, and I do. I really love it, and I love the team here. It's not just a team. It's not just a network. It's a family here at CBS, and I'll miss everybody. And I really will miss calling those moments to the fans at home, because the fans is what we're here for. We're here for you. We're here to entertain you. It's been a great run, though, I've had, and it's overwhelming.
Looks good, man. Dude. Are we in slow motion, too?
From Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, this is Talk Birdie to Me. We're here for BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Host Plus, the official retirement partner of Talk Birdie to Me. The golf clearance outlet, they beat everyone's prices. Ping will help you play your best. And better, ahead of the game. Now for Titleist, the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy, the number one shoe and glove in golf. Here's Nick and Mark.
Welcome back. We're with Ian Baker-Finch, the 1991 Open champion, and what a superstar human being he is as well. We are hosting Ian Baker-Finch for Host Plus. And Finchy, we'd love to know where this Australian golf is headed. Now, we've just come off the back of the $2.5 million BMW PGA Championship, which was just fantastic. And we've got an Open Championship, Australian Open Championship at Royal Melbourne. But you being the chairman of the PGA of Australia, we understand how difficult it is down here, so far away from the Northern Hemisphere, and trying to get a tour up. What we've got going is quite remarkable, to tell you the truth. All tournaments broadcast and the rest. Do you have an end game? I mean, we know we want to keep progressing. But what's possible?
Well, cliche, anything's possible, right? But what we have is we have all of the ingredients to have a world-class tour and a world-class pathway to Europe, USA. That happens, and the good players will always find a way. But what we don't have is we don't have the resources and the money. If we were playing for 5, 10, whatever $1 million every week, all of the players would stay home and play here.
That's right.
We would have a better image, if you will, because all of those great players we've just watched the last 2 weeks would play here more often. Like when I was younger, we would come home and play 10 tournaments in Australia. The tournaments weren't any different or any better than what we have now. We have 20 tournaments on our Challenger PGA Tour. We have more and more WPGA women's events as well, 4 big ones in a row. Early next year, which is fantastic for our girls, and our girls prove that they're the best in the world. We've got 2 major champions with Minjee and young Gracie. Yeah. So anyway, we have a lot of great golf courses. Everyone loves golf. We have spectacular weather. We have everything except that money. And so the money, 10 million a week over in the DP World Tour, 20 million a week in the US Tour, all of our good young players try and find a way to get over to there. And we have a breeding ground. We have a wonderful tour that we have 144, sometimes 156, sometimes maybe only 120. Some of the WebEx Series events, only 70 young men and 70 young women get to play, so it's a little less. The big tournaments we just played at co-sanctions, only 70 players get into those as well. But it's at the end, the end game is to get over to the other tours in the Northern Hemisphere and create your path,
Yes.
And obviously some of the youngsters will make it to live. We've got 4 Aussies on the live tour, sometimes 5. There's other avenues to play. What I'd like to see is whether it's just be one big BHP or Rio Tinto or one of the big banks, multinational banks, just come in and say, okay, we're going to take golf under our wing and we're going to do like a pyramid. We're going to put $50 million into golf, and it'll trickle down into each tournament, and it'll trickle down into each pro shop and into each club, into each junior tournament, into each junior program, into each school. That's what we need. We need someone, something, some big company. And we're searching for that all the time. That's our end game. It's Golf Australia and PGA are working very closely together, always for the same goal. What's best for golf? How do we create more participation, which we have done over the last 5 years? We've proven it with statistics. Golf Australia have a wonderful presentation of how, 53% of new players in women. Memberships of juniors has tripled over the last couple of years. COVID was a big part of that. People started to see that the health in golf, walking out in the fresh air, exercise, all of the things. And more kids are starting to play. And a lot of it, if I may, I'm going on and on and on here, but our shop front are our big tournaments, like the BMW PGA, like the Crown Australian Open, all of the other challenger events around Australia. They're our shop front. The young players, women and men in Australia, are athletes. They are superstar athletes with great attitudes, wonderful integrity. The game itself proves that. And our kids are seeing that, and more kids are gravitating towards golf as a sport. I want to play this. Kids love it. Our coaches are the best in the world. Our PGA professionals are just simply the best in the world. Richie Smith, who has won the last 3 years, Grant Fields, who was Cam Smith's coach, he won it a couple of years. They are 2 of the top 5 coaches in the world. Our guys get so much kudos and are given so much credibility in the world of golf. And all of our young amateurs that are coming through, they're coached by the PGA professionals, and they're doing better and better and better, as we saw with the women this year, winning the international crown and winning 2 majors. And we are in a really good place. Funding and resources is the only thing that's stopping us from being even stronger, even better. We have a great alliance with DP World Tour. I see the DP World Tour becoming the really true world tour of golf and having 2, 3, 4 events down here on our shores. Their second tour, I think it's called the Hotel Planner Tour right now. It used to be the Challenge Tour. We're trying to get some of our events to a higher level to create pathways to that tour as well.
Music to our ears.
Like we used to remember the Corn Ferry days when we'd have 2 tournaments here and guys would get a start. We had 20 players playing in the US back in those days.
Nationwide, I think it was.
The US I'm stealing the show here, I don't mean to, but the US has kind of made it harder and harder and harder to get onto that tour. So our pathway now is really more through DP World Tour, Europe.
Yeah.
And then the top 10 or 15 from that tour get onto the PGA Tour. So that's the pathway now.
Yeah.
And, we've got a lot of Elvis Smileys in Australia just waiting to, show us how good they are and get out. So that's what we want to do. We obviously have the best coaches and the best program with the PGA programs. We're a registered training office. We can do stuff with universities and with the government. A lot of other pros and young amateurs are coming to Australia for that program. So that's continuing to grow and get better. And the tour is strong, and it's a great pathway for our Aussie boys. And now we have a Q school in the US where a lot of players, we had 8 players come in from America this year and play on our tour. So someone needs to just throw a little bit more money at us to just elevate that and give our guys and girls a little bit more money to play for. And as you know, competition breeds success.
Yep.
And we're seeing that.
Absolutely.
Hey, Finchy, just to finish up, you're a chairman, you've been a wonderful golfer, you've been a broadcaster. How do you see yourself in retirement? Where are you going to finish up?
Some people have already asked me, what's it like being retired? I said, I highly recommend it.
Play golf every day.
I've really enjoyed my extra time and being able to go play with you guys. Mark, I've seen you down at Kingston Heath. I played with Nick the other day, playing up at Cathedral a bit, Metro RM whenever I'm here in Melbourne. There's so many great golf courses here. I will always be, as I've said, and the PGA is my church, is my passion, I feel like I'm giving back to what's been given to me. I think that's the big thing. I will never really retire and move away and just, hang up the golf clubs and throw the kids around in the pool, my grandkids. My third grandchild being born right now as we speak. My daughter's getting her first over in New York.
Unreal.
So we'll watch this place. I'll let you know what happens. More golf while I still can. I'm 65. I'd love to be able to throw a bag over my shoulder and go walk and play till I'm 80. More time here at home. Bear in mind, my grandkids are in the United States. Both my daughters married young American men, and their kids are there at the moment, maybe not forever. So probably 4 to 6 months here and 6 to 8 months over there, and a lot of golf here in Melbourne and the Sandbelt and Sydney and up on the sunny coast where I grew up. And it's been a life in golf, and it will continue to be.
Well, Finchy, thank you so much, mate. We've enjoyed everything you've said, haven't we, Nick? It's been incredible.
I've been fortunate to, watch Finchy early on when he inspired me to, go overseas and play and travel. And then I got to know him really well through the President's Cups when he was the assistant captain to Gary Player. And we'd have great chats through all that. And he actually helped me out with my putting in one of them because I was struggling with my putting.
Well, he helped me with my putting
with
as
a good
well.
drill. But no, it's a privilege and an honour to call you a friend now. And thanks for your time today, Finchy. It's been brilliant.
Thanks to the Host
good.
Plus. It's been wonderful hosting you, Finchy.
Thanks very much, guys. Keep up the great work. You've got a great podcast. I'm happy to be on with you.
Good on you. Ian Baker-Finch, what a superstar.
Beautiful.
You're a superstar. Thank you so much.
Good on you. Thanks. Sorry I went on a bit there.
No, that's perfect.
So many,
the best.
Perfect.
I'll see what happens with my daughter over the next couple of hours, and I might get out and hit a few balls over at the Furrows later.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
There you go.
Thanks a lot, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
See you
mate.
during the week.
Talk Birdie to Me with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen. Live from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist, the #1 ball in golf. FootJoy, the #1 shoe and glove in golf. The Golf Clearance Outlet, they beat everyone's prices. BMW, luxury and comfort for the 19th hole. Better, ahead of the game. Ping will help you play your best. And Host Plus, they can help you drive your retirement further. Now that's a plus. Issued by Host Plus Pty Limited. This is general advice. Consider the PDS and TMD on our website before deciding. Wherever you listen or watch, we'd love you to subscribe and share the pod with a friend. Talk Birdie to Me's executive producer is Dan Bradley at Kaizen Media. Sound design by Daryl Misson at loudzebra.com. And now from Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, that's been Talk Birdie to Me.